Hey guys, RJM324 here. So I went to go see Slender Man on Friday night because, well, honestly, I needed something to do on a Friday night, and I had actually been looking forward to seeing this movie for a couple months now. Not because I thought it was going to be any good, but because I knew that if I went to go see it, it was going to be so ridiculously bad that I was going to have a fun time either way. And if it did turn out to be good, then, yeah, I get to enjoy a good movie. But if you've been paying attention to critical reviews, you probably know that that's not what happened. It is actually bad. And I get the feeling that several people at the theater I went to were thinking the same thing too, because right before the movie started, I caught whiff of the subtle scent of marijuana being smoked a few rows behind me, so that probably tells you all you need to know about what people thought about this movie. Before I go into what I thought was pretty bad about the movie though, I do have to give credit where I thought that the movie actually got something right. For one, I thought the casting was generally actually pretty okay. In particular, the four main girls, for what character they were given, I thought they were pretty well cast. Something else I have to say is the implementation of the score. Not necessarily the score itself. In general, I thought the score is pretty generic for a horror movie, but how they edited it into the movie itself, I actually liked in certain places. While sure you had the really loud pieces for the jump scare moments, I liked how the score was generally quieter and was more well integrated into the quieter moments. Sure, there are times when a little music is needed, but when the movie didn't need music, it didn't try going all out. They used more softer tracks, which if it was trying to be reminiscent of the old Slender game from 2012, I'd say that was a nice touch, because one of the best parts about that game is the lack of score. But now let's get more into the bad. First off, obviously the acting is pretty bad. I know that I said the movie was kind of well cast, but it's a shame that that cast didn't really know how to act really well. Sometimes they were just really meek and quiet and tried to be to themselves. Or sometimes they tried to act so panicky and breathy and because they were and Slenderman! You see what I mean? That kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is not really convincing acting. It's what people think that people act like when they're panicked. But even if the acting was good, it's not like they were given a lot of good material to begin with. The writing is pretty laughable, both in terms of story and in dialogue. Basically, the story is that these four girls watch an internet video about the Slender Man to try calling him to them. And one by one, as the movie goes on, they're all abducted or driven to the point of insanity. And I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying this, but at the end, all four of them do end up being... So that means if you've ever seen a horror movie in your life, or at least in the past 10 years, you know exactly where this story is going, so there's not really any surprises, so that's not really good. But the dialogue is pretty bad too. It's another case of 30 or 40 something year old writers thinking they know how teenagers act, so they just write what they think. Which, unlike 8th grade, which I saw a week ago and thought that it was really good and really realistic to real life, the world of Slender Man really felt like it was artificial because nobody really acted right. And because they rely on so many cliches, you end up getting bored really quickly. Like myself, I looked at my phone every 20 minutes wondering when this was gonna end, which isn't really good for a movie that's an hour and a half. So yeah, the acting was bad, which means the direction probably wasn't that great either, and the writing was also bad. And the editing wasn't too much better either. I mean, it had its moments. Like there's this one scene more than halfway through the movie where you had this one guy on top of one of the female leads, and he just started spazzing out like his arms were moving around, his head was shaking around, and that legitimately was really friggin' funny. And I'm pretty sure it was not supposed to be taken as funny. That's another thing that's bad with these horror movies nowadays. They do stuff that's scary, but is really just funny. But yeah, the editing as a whole is really just pretty generic, and the visuals aren't really that engaging either. They have an eerie vibe, sure, but they just aren't edited properly. They either come off as really funny, really bad, or like they didn't know what they were doing. And since we're talking about the visuals, let me talk about the CGI real quick, because that's probably one of the worst things about the movie. Reportedly, the movie took about $10 or $28 million to make, but whatever it cost, they didn't really give the CGI team any room to work. This is easily seen in Slender Man himself, who is actually portrayed by an actual tall actor, but they clearly thought that practical effects wouldn't cut it, so they decided to make him all CGI, which making him look unnatural and blending into the environment is fine, if it's a Slender video game where everything is computer generated. When you're compositing CGI in a real environment with real characters, it can look really out of place, especially if you overuse him. Which, oh boy, they did that in the second half of the movie a lot. overused him. And by the end of it all, it pretty much looked like some sort of test animation for college, and I was having a ball. And I'm pretty sure the really high audience members behind me thought the same thing too, because they would not stop chattering or laughing either. But the question is it really something to go out to see ironically just to laugh at it? It depends on the kind of person you are. If you're like me, who doesn't like to go to a movie drunk out of my mind or high as hell, then probably not. It's actually pretty boring, and the funny moments are far and few between. You'd be better off looking for these clips on YouTube than sitting through an hour-and-a-half movie about an old internet meme. But if you are drunk or high, then yeah, I would say rent this once it comes out on DVD. You probably will have a much better time than I did. So yeah, as a whole, the Slender Man movie was a pretty bad movie. It came way too late for people to give a care about it. It was so poorly made. They actually delayed the movie from earlier in the year to August, and I honestly don't see why they needed that extra time. If they had actually taken that time to improve the movie, that'd be one thing, but it's all just pretty laughable throughout. The acting is bad, the writing is bad, the cinematography is bad, the music is okay, the casting is okay, the CGI is funny as hell, but overall, it doesn't even come close to being a genuinely entertaining movie like The Room. It's just another horror movie, and that's just not good enough. That being said though, despite the fact that I knew where this movie is going, I did still manage to have a fun time, but that fun was just sporadic. I mean, even if you are a huge fan of the Slender Man character himself, you'd honestly be better off watching Marble Hornets, to be honest. I mean, it's not that great either, but at least it didn't waste millions of Hollywood's money. I'd probably give the movie like a 3 out of 10. It's not completely horrible or devoid of humor or devoid of scares, but you really have to reach deep if you want to find something to enjoy with this movie, even if you view it as a comedy. And that's my thoughts on the Slender Man movie. Did you like it? Then be sure to give the video a like, comment, and subscribe if you want more content like this. As always, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.